I'm Rebecca.
I'm Caitlin.
I'm Nessa.
This is the Family Show! Howdy folks, welcome to my top 100 games of all time. I'm Hunter, and this is Rebecca, my companion on this joyride of life. Today we're looking at my, what are we looking at?
I don't know.
My 70 to 61. 70-61.
Wow, we're just flying through.
We're moving up the list. Alright, let's look at stats. We always look at stats.
You and your stats.
Stats. This time. Remember, it was really a lot like last time. 2 new games. 6 games that went down, but 2 games that went up. So many games going up this year. Crazy. And the last of the 5 games I do not own.
Ooh. Intrigued.
All right. Let's just jump right into this
Color
madness.
me intrigued.
You're not intrigued.
I am intrigued. I haven't seen what you picked.
All right. Let's start with number 70. It's new to the list. Not a new game. Been around for a long time. But it's an Uwe game. And we love it. It's a Uwe. With At the Gates of Luang.
Yay. Very exciting.
So I got a story about this game. Before I talk to you about it, I got a little story. So this game was setting at our board game store for years. One lone little copy. All sad and lonely. And I'd walk by it and I'd go, should I get that game? No, let's not get that game. So I did that for years. And then one day it was gone. And that's when I wanted it. And then it got reprinted by Tasty Minstrel Games. And now we have our own little happy copy. I could have had the original. But now I got the Tasty Minstrel.
Well, that's... He who hesitates is lost.
So we played this game. It's not, like I said, it's not new. It came out, I don't know if this version just came out, but I think it came out like 5 years ago. 5? 7? 10? I don't know.
I can look for you
It's an older game.
while you chat about it.
It's an older game. I don't think they're going to have the older date.
Might not.
Yeah, doesn't say. It says 2018. That's this
So
version.
sad. So sad.
But anyway, so
cool.
At the Gates of Luang is, it's a Uwe game. So you know you're making food. So
He's not wrong.
This one is got an interesting mechanism that is kind of in his Reykholt game, if you played Reykholt. The whole scoring in this game, you're doing all these things. You're getting cards. You're making food. You're stealing other people's food. You're doing things. All in an effort to make money. And then you buy places on this little track with money. And the places get, you're just moving up this track by spending your money. And whoever's furthest on the track wins the game. But there's a lot going on. There's card drafting. It's got interesting card drafting stuff going on. And the 2-player we only play at 2 players. The 2-player drafting is a little tricked up. It's not like the normal game. But I like that, card drafting.
Yep.
I like that you can steal other people's veggies.
That's cool.
It's got, it really, Reykholt in a lot of ways is kind of a streamlined, almost lesser version of this game in a lot of ways.
No, that's true.
Because
it's all about the veggies in Reykholt, right? And this one is like much more going on.
Yeah, you have the same thing. You have the gardens and you're planting things and you're growing crops and you're harvesting and then you're fulfilling contracts and doing all sorts of craziness with it. There's more going on, so that's why I like this game a little more than Reykholt, but it does remind me a lot. In the same way in Reykholt, you're just following this track. You're trying to get as far as you can. Same way. So I think if I was in Uwe's head, I think he thought, let's make Gates of Luang, but easier and simpler, and make Reykholt. And he cheated and didn't really make a new game.
I don't think Uwe wants you in his head.
But I do like this game. It's got like I said, it's got a lot more going on. I like it. Like it. See, look on the back. See, you got the little garden things, kind of like in Reykholt. You have a little garden. You're planting your stuff. Gardens can hold different amounts and things. I like that you can steal stuff. You put things in little cups here. It's got all kinds of cool things going on. It's a great game. It's pretty cool. Plays great 2-player. Again, I wouldn't know anything about 2-player, but
That's all you need to know.
so that's my number 70. New to the list, not a new game. Kind of a new game if you get this version. It's only a year old. At the Gates Luang.
Or if you're American, Luang.
Luang?
Luang.
Luang. So my next one, my number 79. No, not 79. I'm on 70s for some reason. 69. We talked about this in the way back times of 77. I said I like this version better, and I do. But
spoilers.
But here's the thing. I like the other versions has more potential to go up than this one. But there you go. That is a brass. Lincolnshire.
That funky monkey.
Or if you're old school, just brass. Because this is.
Oh yeah, that's the original name.
This
right?
is the original brass.
Okay.
Kind of all rock sleed up. You know what I mean by rock sleed up?
Ah, the
all
company.
rock sleed up.
You're so
rock
clever.
sleed up. So brass, Lincolnshire. I've held off playing this game for ages because of multiple reasons. One, it kind of looked kind of dull, but
it's dark.
But I heard it didn't play well 2-player. So that's another.
A lie.
But that's don't take my glory. and that's a lie. But anyway, brass is a heavy economic game. You're building canals, and then later on you're building trains, railroads, and you're connecting different markets, and you're delivering goods. So you're doing all sorts of heavy Euro-y trainy stuff. But it reminds me, it has kind of a feel of a heavy train game, but it's like they kind of pulled back and made it more Euro-y, and more economic than some of those games. The tracks really are not. You're not building all these kind of intricate routes and things. You're just connecting cities. It's not nearly as complicated as some of the bigger games, but it's good. It's a heavy Euro game. You like heavy Euro games? You like economic games? You like what else is there going on in this game? It's got some card play, hand management. They say.
Does it have trading in the Mediterranean?
There is. Is part of this in the Mediterranean? Let's look. I don't know.
No, it's not.
Part of. Is it part
I don't
of
think
it?
it is.
It's in England, right?
Yeah,
England's not
Lancashire.
in the Mediterranean. It's not in the Mediterranean.
Liverpool. Yeah, I know. That's
Get out of here. It's trading in the English Canal.
You're saying it was hitting all the good spots. I was just asking.
Trading in the English Canal. Talking. I don't know geography.
You had to open the box to figure that out.
I stopped myself midway through.
Busted.
But this is one of the old school heavy Euro games that is a lot of people's favorites. When Roxley reintroduced brass, Lincolnshire, which is original brass, and brass Birmingham, they both hit like the Euro people went like crazy with the ratings, and it's like they're both. I don't know if they're both top 10, but they may be both in the top 10 now.
Really?
Of the Board Game Geek list.
Top 10?
Yeah.
Wow, so, I had no idea.
I think. And Birmingham's actually higher than this one.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway,
wow.
If you like heavy Euro games, you like hand management, you like economic games, you like it's kind of almost a little cutthroat. Got some cutthroat pieces to it.
Oh yeah,
where you're cutting people's roofs off and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I like it. It's a good one. I like how the bidding system works. Basically, not bidding system, but however much money you spend in a round determines how your turn order for next turn. And turn order in this game is extremely important.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So if you have a round where you spend tons of money, then I think you'll go last the next round. So you kind of give the other people a chance to do stuff or something like that. But it's cool. I like it. It's fun. It's a cool game. I like it. Brass. But like I said, this one probably has more of a ceiling on how high it can go. I think Lincolnshire. No. Birmingham. If we play it again in the right conditions, I think it can pass this one up. Just like it did on BGG.
Interesting.
There you go. That's new to the list. So the 2 new games right out of the bat, we're done with those. They're all oldies now. All oldies after this.
Right.
Speaking of an oldie. What?
Nothing. You said right out of the bat or right off the bat? I wasn't sure.
I don't know what I said. I'm sure the comments will tell me. Number 68. This is not new. It was 58 last year, so kind of holding strong. Only dropping 10 places is pretty good.
No, that's not too bad.
And that is The Terrible Art of Yokohama.
I like this game. I hate the art, but I like this game.
I love the art.
This game is great.
I love it. So Yokohama is a cool... I'm going to be like a broken record this time around with the heavy Euro stuff.
You are, man.
So it's another heavy Euro game. This one's kind of, it's not worker placement, but it's kind of action selection with workers.
Because, it's kind of like Istanbul, right?
Yeah.
With the way you move.
Yeah, you basically
you
do a train of assistants or whatever they're called in this game, and your little main worker guy follows the train and goes to different locations. And then
when he goes
to the location, you take the action of that location, and how much stuff you have at that location depends on how powerful that action. So your little worker guy, your little assistant guys, little buildings, and anything you have on that spot increases the power of that action. And you can get, I think, a range from 1 to 5. And obviously 5 is the most powerful, and you get really cool stuff. 1 is kind of meh. So you kind of want to strategize on where you put your buildings and things to make the action more powerful. Going on, it's got all kinds of Euro-y stuff. You got contracts you're fulfilling. It's got technology cards. It's got resource management, set collection. It's just, it's like all this Euro stuff thrown in a blender, stirred up, spun up, blended up, and it comes out as an awesome Euro game with horrible art. Wait, I love the art. She thinks it's horrible art.
Well, it's
beautiful art. Oh, come on.
The mechanisms in this are amazing. And the only game I think that has anything like it is Istanbul. Like, I really love the way this game goes. It's so, like, stark and minimalist and
this is
not very colorful.
It's upside, no?
No, you have it right side up. Not that you can tell, because it's
so
boring.
Gosh. I like the
But the pieces are cool. The pieces are
fine.
cool.
Art's fine. What are you doing?
Trying to help.
No, you're not. You're hindering. Anyway, Yokohama, another Euro game. This one's not quite as heavy as Brass. This plays an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half sweet spot. It's kind of a bear to teach because you have all these different locations and all these different actions and all these different things you can do. It's kind of a hard one to teach. But
So this one is lighter than Brass.
Oh yeah,
it feels pretty heavy. That's interesting. Like actually on board
Brass has a lot of
intricate.
Yeah, that rules.
Okay,
has a lot of like. If you go here, you connect
That's
with this,
true.
and this
That's
connection
true,
goes here, and
does.
if you go from this direction, you have to do this connection. If you're going to go take this resource, you got to take it
That's
from here.
true. I didn't think about that.
It's got a lot of...
This one's got a lot of just planning ahead.
This is more intuitive, and it has great iconography to teach you the game. So this is I didn't get the cool deluxeified version.
That would be cool.
But I got the almost deluxeified version. I don't know. Tasty minstrel games.
It's still cool.
That's 2 of those that we've had this turn.
Yeah.
2 tasty minstrel games.
They do good stuff.
Anyway, it's a good one. Midweight, mid to heavy-ish Euro-y game. 90 minutes. Plays well 2 players. Plays well 3 players. Plays well 4 players.
Pretty darn good.
There you go.
In general. Just good.
And that one is, like I said, went down 10 spaces. Not that much. Next one is the last game I do not own. So I own my entire top 66.
Okay.
But not 67.
Okay.
But I'm getting a version that would fall in this category. Because this is a category of games.
What kind of filthy cheating?
Come on. Let me finish. So, and soon, I think February-ish, I'm getting my own version of this game that plays well 2-player. And that is 18XX.
Oh, no.
But for this...
No.
But, what's that?
No, nothing.
Holding the spot...
That's math, the game.
My favorite so far of the 18XX game is 1846. So this one has dropped some. It was my 19 last year. It dropped all the way down to 67. This is why.
You don't get to play it?
That's part of it.
Okay.
But here's the thing. If you played Splotter games before, you know that if you get off to a bad start, it's kind of hard to catch up.
Okay.
18XX is even worse.
Oh. Okay.
You could even be... So here's the thing. So I've played this game 4 times now, I think. Different versions of this game.
Cool.
3 of them, I was in it. I was doing well. Got to the end. I either won, got second place, did really well. The last time I played 1830, which is a heavier version. I didn't really know what was going on when we started. I knew how to play 18XX. I knew nothing about the board. I knew nothing about how the game worked.
Okay.
And a half hour in, I couldn't. There's no way I was going to win.
See, this is how I think every game of 18 whatever is going to go for me.
Half hour in, my game was over. 6 hours later, the game ended.
Yeah, see.
I wasn't eliminated. It wasn't completely impossible for me to do well. But I knew real early on I had no chance to win this game. Because I simply didn't know anything about the railroads and starting positions and what's valuable and what's not valuable.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I was doomed. So it dropped a lot because... And again, this one has potential to go right back up. Here's the thing. I don't think I'll ever play this game again without reading the rules, knowing the game first before I play.
Okay.
Because...
Just walking in.
There was a distinct disadvantage because I didn't know what was going on.
Well, way to go.
Well, 1840. The thing about it is 1846. I played that game. Let's see, 1830. That's why 1846 is in the spot. 1830 probably wouldn't be on my list at all.
Wow. Okay.
Because 1846 is, I don't know, friendly enough, less punishing. If you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to be completely out of it. Okay. And the people that were not doing well at the 1846 game at the start ended up doing well at the end. Like I didn't start off doing well, and I think I ended up winning that game. The 1830, it was over. I mean, it was just there's nothing I could do to catch up. And these games are so long that it's like, what do? You just sit there and.
Did you write a new book?
I could have watched a movie on the side. I mean, it was like there was just nothing I could do. And I didn't get eliminated. I survived the whole time, which is saying something. But I was here. There's another guy I think right here, and then everybody else was like up in the stratosphere somewhere. It was just a blowout, which is fine. I mean, really, in a game like this, you should play with people with equal experience. It's not a type of game you want to have someone that's played it a ton of times and someone who's never played it. Oh, okay. It's just you're just going to get trounced. Yeah. And as soon as we pick companies, everybody's like, "I'll take this, I'll take that," and I'm like, "Okay, they know what's going on. I have that one looks good. I don't know what I'm doing." Yeah, and you're in trouble. I picked the worst possible position. I didn't have any way to. Anyway, that said. I love the game. I think it's a lot of fun. I think everyone needs to be on equal footing. You need to do an amazing rule teach. And if you're teaching, here's the thing that was different from I think the person who shall not be named. When they taught me 1846, everybody at the table was pretty much new. There was no one that was really experienced. And when the teach happened, they explained, okay, this is a good spot to start because of this. This over here, this one's not. Why. This is not really a good position because of this. This guy said, but here's the rules go. And I'm like, that one looks good.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know why.
And it's probably my fault. But I think I jumped in on this game last minute, so I had no chance to do any research or any
You're in trouble.
Looking into it.
You're in trouble.
And like I said, Splotters have that same issue, but the games are usually only 2 or 3 hours, which
max.
Yeah. And you still feel like you're involved in the game and you're doing stuff and you're accomplishing things.
Usually.
I talked way too much about 18XX. We're getting 18 Chesapeake. I kickstarted it. It should be coming in.
Is that what it's called? 18 Chesapeake?
Yeah.
It doesn't have a year. It's just 18 Chesapeake.
Yes.
That could be a street address.
They have a lot of those. They have 18
end up at somebody's house.
CZ, 18 Ireland. They have all kinds of names.
What?
There's like dozens of these games.
This is so weird. Okay.
Anyway, we're getting that game. It's 2 players. It plays fairly quickly. It's supposed to be very, I don't know, user friendly. It's not. So
no math.
There's math. It's like paying for stuff kind of math. But the reason it dropped so much, the more I play these games is I find that I do not want to play with experts. I do not want to play with people that are really good at these games. It's just, you're done.
You're toast.
And I think it's an awesome game. It's an awesome experience, again, if everyone's on fairly equal footing. Because I played one game I played on the BGG cruise with an expert. I put 18 Japan. I don't even know what the number is. 18. I don't know. The Japan one. Anyway, he's like, You need $372 for that. You need $253 for that. You need to be sure to save $463 to do this. Oh wait, you spent too much. You might want to hold back $1,272 because you need to do this, this, and this. I'm like,
you were outmassed, son.
You win. I mean, it was just
wow. That's impressive.
It was just because you need to say because there's like you need this much to buy a train, you need this much to build your track, you need this much for and it's like Power Grid on steroids, right? It's like you have these magic numbers that I don't know. So yeah, I have no. If I ever get, like I said, if I get the 18 Chesapeake game, I'll play with new people. We'll play it once every year or so. Everyone will be newbies. I'll explain it as best I can and give everyone
we'll all stink at it together.
And we'll all stink at it equally. But man, I just got annihilated in that 1830 game.
A little humble pie is good dessert.
I ate humble pie for 6 hours. I like. At first, I had a nice, wonderful peanut butter pie, which is my favorite pie at the first. I'm like, this is going to be a great. Wait,
this is humble pie.
This is not peanut butter pie. This is 5.5 hours of losing pie.
Losing pie.
Well, there it is. I talked way too long about it. It sounds like I hate these games. I love these games. It's just equal footing.
You could have fooled me. No,
all right, so Rebecca,
gave
a sneak peek of my number 66.
I did?
Because she said Yokohama is a lot like
Istanbul.
And I like this one slightly more. Sorry, slightly better, slightly more. Yeah, that both works. Than Yokohama because this one plays a little faster. It's a little more straightforward. It has gambling.
It has that criminal cousin.
It has a criminal cousin. So Istanbul, it's dropped a little bit, I think.
Did it?
Dropped from 43 to 66, but it still stayed on my list. But
with all the expansion play we had, it dropped?
Yeah.
What?
This one's kind of light. It's kind of light. It's kind of light.
There's something wrong with it.
But I love this game. It has the same, like she said, the same sort of thing as Yokohama. You have little assistants or whatever they're called that you have a stack of them. And when you move your worker that actually does the action selection or activates the area, you move your little disc, and he can only go so far because he only has so many discs. And then you have to backtrack and pick up discs and things like that, or you can go to the center place and get your disc back. So it's kind of, there's like some puzzliness, because if you got on one side of the board and you want to move to the other side, you kind of got to think about, okay, how do I get there, and what do I do along the way that's beneficial? So it's got a little bit of logistics, or whatever you want to call it, of figuring out how I'm going to maneuver. And when we play with all the expansions, and we play the Grand Bazaar version, so it's even more pronounced because the board is even bigger. So a lot of times you got to think, okay, I'm going to just kind of hang out in this corner, and what kind of engine can I get going over here, right?
But you got to be careful too, because you also have to pay like a fee or a tax or something if like I land on the space you're on, or go through a space you're on.
Right.
Yeah, so you want to avoid the other players, which I think is easier in a 2-player game than the other games for obvious reasons, but it's still, especially if someone's being a bit trollish, or if people are just going for the same kinds of goals, you're going to encounter each other a lot, and money is tight. It's just hilarious. I love this game.
And and on top of all that, it's a race game. So basically you're trying to get a certain number of little ruby gem things. First one to get X number of gems, depending on the number of players, wins. So you're really kind of, like I said, you're really trying to build an engine. You're looking at the board state and going, okay, those combo off each other good, and these kind of combo, and maybe you want to do that. So you kind of got to analyze what the board's like to decide what's going on. I think there's standard setups that you can use. But we usually just random the whole board. They have rules that this board can't be next to this board, and this board has to be within the middle. They have rules on how to set it up, but
it's real basic for the most part. It's not too complicated.
That's I really like it.
You make it sound more complicated than it is, I think.
No. It's not that hard. It's not a 90-minute game, or is it?
40 to 60 minutes.
Yeah, so it's a shorter game. Like I said, it's a lighter game.
You see this guy? He's like, oh, look, are these the rubies you want? I'm going to put them on the opposite side of the board where you can't reach them. See, he looks all innocent. It's a lie.
And it won
it's a lie.
The Kinderspiel des Jahres.
Wow, babe.
or the I'm not even going to try.
Germans everywhere.
But anyway, this is a great game. The base game is fine. It's pretty straightforward. But we've, like I said, we've got all the expansions, and we play the massive 5x5. I think it's 5x5 grid of. So there's 25 different actions basically that you can take. Normally, I think it's 3x4. It's a lot less actions. Maybe it's 4. I don't know. Anyway, a lot less actions. But if you like
math.
If you like Euro games, you like race games. It's not like point salads type thing. You're just racing and collecting a certain number of gems. And there's many different ways to get the gems, but it's not like you're getting 5 points for this and 10 points for that and 7 points for this. It's kind of a rush to get as many gems as you can. And there's many different ways to do it, especially if you use all the expansions. But it's a good one. She loves it a lot more than I do, but I love it. A little bit light.
It's delightful.
Even though it won the
Kinderspiel
des Jahres. All right.
I apologize to all my friends in Europe.
All right, so here is my second biggest drop. It missed the biggest drop by 1. It dropped 54 places.
What could this be?
And I'll sum it up in one abbreviated word. App.
AP?
App.
The app. That's...
The Through the Ages
app. APP app. Okay.
App.
Okay.
App.
I was like,
Through the Ages. This is covered in dust because we haven't played this in ages.
That was terrible. That was so terrible.
So I play Through the Ages on the app all the time. I've probably played in the last 2 years a couple hundred games of Through the Ages.
Meanwhile, I haven't played any.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a fun game. It's a bear to teach. It's a bear to set up. It's a bear. It takes a long time to play.
But it's fun.
I could play an app game in 20 minutes. I mean, I am like, I'm just flying through the app. It's crazy. So that's why it dropped, just because we never play it, because I really wanted to play it. I really want to play it again. I really want to do like a full 4-player version. So I don't think I've ever played 4 players.
I thought we decided we never wanted to play this 4
players.
But
I mean, just as like an epic game day kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Because I was like,
we never played it 4. I've played it 2.
We played it 3.
2 and 3 once, but mostly 2.
Yeah.
And I've played it 2, 3, and 4 dozens of times on the app. The app is amazing. It's probably one of the best board game apps there is, period.
Yeah, that's true.
But I love this game. So let me tell you about the board game, because this is a civilization game, but it's kind of pulled back in a way. You don't have the dudes on the map. You don't have as much conflict. There is conflict in the game. You have little wars and little raids and things like that.
So so much more.
That's really just like blow up one of their buildings or steal something from them or something like that.
It's skirmishes.
It's not like you're annihilating their cities.
Guerrilla skirmishes.
And you can play a peaceful version where you take all those cards out. But you're going through ages, so you're building up your resource. It's like the engine building games. You have like food as a resource and oil, energy as a resource. You're building up your politics and your faith and religion. You're getting different types of government, and you're literally going through the ages. So at first age, you're drafting stuff like, iron and
Socrates
and Socrates and Moses and things like that. Yeah. And then by the end, you're like building like supercomputers and doing space flight, and your Bill Gates is your leader and all sorts of craziness. So it goes through the whole arc of everything. You're building up your military. You're going from just regular soldiers up to like fighter jets and tanks and things like that. It's a cool game. It's a card, mainly at its heart. It's an engine building, hand management style game, and it's fun. It's a fun game.
It is. It's amazing.
It has an amazing progression. It's just like any Civ game. You start out with like beating 2 sticks together, and at the end you're doing space shuttle and like supercomputers and stuff. So
it's pretty awesome.
You see the whole span, and if you like engine building games, you like hand management. But be warned, it is a beast to teach, and it is a long game. It's probably hour and a half per player. Don't even look at what it says.
Oh yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah, it says 2 hours plus. Yeah, 2 hours for 2 players if you're playing fast.
Yeah.
I'd say hour and a half a player is where it's at.
Probably.
Because the way the game works, it's none of this simultaneous stuff.
Everything's
Rebecca takes her entire turn. That's completely independent from mine.
Yeah.
I take my entire turn. So every player is adding an equal amount of time. So If it's an hour and a half for 2, not an hour and a half. If it's 3 hours for 2, it's going to be 4.5 for 3 and 6 for 4. But if you're flying through, you might get it down to an hour per player, but you're still talking, it is a long game. Or you can play on the app and be done in 20 minutes. I win.
I normally am not like a huge hey, go play an app. I'm not a proponent for apps, but after what you've experienced with this particular one, this one is one that the app is.
It's not one
amazing.
I would get together because it's one of those games I'd like to. It's the app's amazing and you play the games fast, but
you're not playing with people.
You don't get the experience, right?
No.
I mean, I'm done in 20 minutes. I don't feel like I've built up and done all these amazing things. I'm just clicking buttons. Whereas this, you feel like you're maneuvering cubes around, you're building up things, you're fighting people, you're interacting. It's the app has its place, but this game also has its place. I don't see ever getting rid of it because it's one of my favorite games.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But it did plummet just because we haven't played it. If we play it again,
it may go back up.
Right?
Probably true.
I've played the game so much through the app. I keep saying app. Played the game so much through the app, I don't even really remember what the regular experience is like. So I wanted to play this during our resolution thing, if you get following the channel resolution. But we got down, it's one of the ones I was, quote, saving. And then the last month we were like, what's less than 10 minutes to play? I mean, we were scrambling to get games done. And this is
obviously not a 10-minute game.
A setup, a teach, and a play for us at this point would be at least 3 hours. Yeah. At least. Yeah. And that's a whole evening.
Not a bad evening. It'd be a good evening.
Yeah, it would be. There you go. My number 65.
That tells you it's still good. It dropped, and it's that
dropped from 11.
Okay, that's a big drop. But it's still in his top 100. That's crazy.
All right, let's move on.
Even with a good app, that's pretty impressive.
To one of my favorite worker placement games. That's why it's holding strong. It only went down 4 places, so basically the same spot.
This is your favorite worker placement game?
One of my favorite. My favorite worker placement game would not be 64.
I would hope not.
My favorite worker placement game.
No spoilers. You're good.
It's 3.
What?
Pillars of the Earth. Pillars of the Earth.
I like how you deafened everyone to tell us about this game. This is a good game.
Sorry, folks. So, Pillars of the Earth. This is an awesome, awesome worker placement game. It was sadly out of print for the longest time. I got this copy on the far-off place called eBay. But there's a shiny new reprint. I think it's still in print. It was in print at some point, so you should have grabbed it when it was in print.
You should have grabbed it. Now that you know about this game.
But this is a worker placement game. It's got a lot of cool things going on for a worker placement game. So a couple of things I like about it. It has your workers. You have a set of workers, and you're putting them in a bag, and you're pulling them out of the bag randomly. And your worker gets pulled. You pay some money, or you can go last. Pull the next one. You can pay some money, or you can go second to last. Or you can pay some money, or you can go third to last. And you just do that. Eventually, and if you want to go earlier in the round, it might be worth it to pay some money. It's got resource management. It's got a card where you purchase cards, and from different areas, they give you better engines. So you start out, your engine isn't very good. Your conversion from sand to glass is garbage. But later on, you may get a card that improves that.
Yeah.
You have things that give you superpowers. Has taxation. Yeah, I love that. Taxation.
Without representation?
You got at its heart, it's gathering resources, most efficiently converting those resources into things that will give you victory points. So it's not really, in a lot of ways, it kind of sounds like a cube pusher, but it's not really that.
Not at all.
It has a lot more going on than that.
Yeah.
The board is awesome. Maybe my favorite board in board gaming. Because it has all your spots, your worker placement spots, following a little path through the board.
Yeah.
And when the round's over, everybody puts their workers on. They fire off in order around the board, and you can use things early on to influence or pay for things later on in the round. So you got to have some planning. It's like, okay, I'm going to go to this spot. I'm going to need some money. So I better do something earlier on that gets me some money. I mean,
yeah, it's really clever.
And it has 2 different phases of workers. I started to say this, but there's 2 different types of workers. There's the workers you're going to put on the board. You also have a handful of little kind of mini workers, and you use those to purchase your resources for that round. So you have to kind of, and there's efficiencies in that. There's cards that are going to be placed out. Not every card is going to be placed out each round of resources. So sometimes you may have more access to stone. Other times you might have better access to sand. You kind of got to decide, okay, what do I need this round? What's going on? And if there's only maybe 1 stone card available and you really need stone, well, you better jump on that and grab it up if you can. It's an awesome game. If you like worker placement games, if you like this is probably a mid-weight worker placement games. It's the 90-minute sweet spot. Maybe a little longer with more players. But
maybe
for us, it's not probably 90 minutes or less.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I know it was in print at some point. I hope it's still in print. I don't know if it is or not. But we have the original, the old school version.
The old busted. No, just kidding. It's not busted.
Well, show the board. I love the board.
The board's beautiful on this.
Let's show the board off.
Absolutely beautiful and very utilitarian.
A lot of people say it's gaudy.
What?
Gaudy.
Yeah, well.
But I think it's...
That's their opinion.
I think it's better than gaudy. It is awesome.
It's better than gaudy. It makes it sound like it's more gaudy than gaudy. But no, it's got beautiful art in the background, and then it's got stuff that explains what's going on top of it, and it's easy to read. I don't see how that's gaudy in this particular case. It actually is thematic. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's cool.
So all these little circles that you're seeing scattered about the board are where you put your workers. And again, it follows the path. So up here, the 1 is the event for the round. And then you do the Archbishop's office, etc., 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 etc.
It's cool.
Etc., 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 etc.
How'd that go?
Yep. But it does have one of the most overproduced turn markers.
Weird.
You build a cathedral out of things.
I mean, it goes with the theme of what actually happens in the book. They're building a cathedral.
And everyone builds this cathedral differently.
Oh, this ought to be fun. Are you going to build this?
This, like that.
Don't they tell you how to build the cathedral?
That.
I think they tell you, don't they?
They got...
But no one builds it that way?
Got like this. Maybe like that.
Then I have a picture.
And then this goes maybe back here.
They have a picture
and this
how
goes like
to...
that.
Yeah, that's not how that goes.
Oh. I like my cathedral like that.
Do you?
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, they have it going like differently. But it's okay. Anyway, they have a little picture in the back.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do.
I don't.
But no one does this.
Don't give me your rules.
No, I'm just saying. I've never seen anyone build it like it's actually shown in here. It's almost like
don't
it's
tell
a
me
challenge.
Your rules.
A challenge to build it weird.
Anyway, great work placement game. One of my favorites. Been holding on my list ever since we got it like 4 years ago. Was it 4 years ago?
Somewhere around there.
How long ago was it? Long in the way back times.
Long time ago.
Yeah, it's been on my list all 5 years. 24, 22, 34, 60, and then 64.
Wow.
Down in the down bits. Well, they would have been back before. You have to rewind.
Back in the way back down
So I'm going
bits?
to put the down bits for a little while because I made an executive decision not to have the down bits the entire time because they're confusing.
What does that mean?
When it tells all the stats, like what it's ranked, and
Oh,
I'm going to leave
okay.
it on for a short time because it's covering this part of the...
Oh, yeah,
well,
okay.
it's covering this part of the screen. All right. Anyway, that's my number 64, The Pillars of the Earth. Okay, my number 63 is another heavy Vital game. Vital game. Vital. But one of my favorite Vital Lacerda games.
Okay.
This game is one of the ones that went up a whopping 21 places.
Wow.
Because we played it again for the first time in a long time.
Okay.
And I remembered how much I loved the artsy-fartsy of... Get ready for motion sickness. The Gallerist. Dun dun dun.
I think more is ear splitting.
The Gallerist.
Broke the
The
table.
Gallerist. This is a lot of people's favorite Vital Lacerda games.
I can see why.
It is awesome. I love it. Like all his games, I consider them very thematic.
Yeah,
This is
especially
another
for
one that
Euro.
is very
Amazing.
thematic. So this game, you are a art gallery director. What do you call the curator? Curator. You're a curator of an art gallery. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, I'm proud of that. You're a curator of an art gallery. You go out and you hire artists The artists make paintings for you. You take your paintings, you put them in your gallery, you show them off to people, all for victory points. But this game's interesting because, in addition to the whole worker placement thing, I'll explain more about that because there's a part of this I like, worker placement I like in this game. You got the whole worker placement thing going on, but what's cool is there's all these meeples scattered all over the board, little mini meeples. And it's almost like a tug of war.
Yep.
You want to pull those meeples to your part of the board, right? So there's ways to manipulate those little meeples and put them in certain spots. You want the people to come, to your art gallery to look at your stuff, to appraise your things, and give you all kinds of different points. You hire artists. You have those artists eventually will produce paintings for you. You can make the artist more well-known. You can bump up his prestige or whatever they call it and make that artist more valuable, which makes your painting more valuable. It's got a cool worker placement mechanism, which I said I'd talk about. I want to talk about it right now. So you kind of bump people. So basically, if someone's on a spot and you go to that spot, you kind of bump them. You kind of get like a secondary action kind of thing. It's kind of interesting how that whole worker placement thing goes on. But this is just like all his games, and I sound like a broken record every time I talk about one of his games. It's a bear to teach. You go through, you got to do all these things, and all this other stuff's happening over here, and you got to do these other things, and this stuff's here. And then you take your turn, it's like, you put a worker and take the action. I mean, it's just, it's so strange how much is going on, how much you have to teach. But once you get past that, and you start playing, it's like, put a worker here and do what it says. Then you take another worker and go over here and do what it says.
It's so cool.
It's just, the turns are so smooth, so easy. They're intuitive things that are going on. It's just a really amazing game. I have yet to encounter a Lacerda game that I do not like.
That's true.
I think we own 5 now. Where are they? Somewhere. I think we own 5 now, and I think all 5 are in my top 100. I think. I could be wrong. I think all 5 are in my top 100.
I think we have 4.
Spoilers. We have 5. Don't we have 5?
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, we have 5. There's one on the top row.
Yeah, we have 5. I think all 5. I could be wrong. I'm not going to look because that'll take a little while. But I think all 5 are in my top 100. And soon, we're going to be on Mars.
That's right. He's got a new game coming out soon.
Very soon, in fact. In any moment, we could be on Mars. And that one may rocket up my list because Rebecca's as well, because just the theme itself. I mean,
and the way these games
I love sci-fi. I love, and especially when it's realistic. I don't know if his game's going to be realistic, but you know what I mean. It's like no aliens aren't attacking you and weird stuff are happening. Yeah. I like games that are realistic. Again, not realistic in terms of being exactly accurate, like you need this much thrust to do.
Like this.
But things that are real world that could really happen, that kind of revolves around something that could actually occur. Yeah. I guess aliens attacking us could occur, but you know what I mean.
This just turned into some big, huge, debate thing you waded into. It's like...
But no, I really, for the most part, I mean, I like both, but I just find it more intriguing. I find it more intriguing when it's like real world type stuff. But I got to show off one thing. My favorite thing in this whole game.
I think I know what it is. Is it what I think it is?
Where is it?
A little prop. Yes, it is.
This is great. But anyway, you know what?
Yeah, see, this has a cover.
Even Griffin does amazing inserts. I don't care what anyone, except for tumbling dice. Anyway, it has little easels.
This is cute.
It has little easels.
It's ridiculous.
Look at this. You said these are like this is like the cool painting, like the.
Yeah, this isn't one of them. Oh, here we go. Here's one of the paintings.
Yeah, it's like the cool. You have like a certain set of cool paintings, and you can earn these. You can get these during the game. You have them set up on easels.
Is that not adorable?
It's a little rabbit.
Actually, it's a big rabbit because if you look, they show you the full size.
Oh yeah.
There's people.
It's a big giant modern art rabbit.
Look at his fangs.
No, it's a sculpture. It's a sculpture. Oh, there you go.
Hunter doesn't know how to use easels.
Anyway, this game's awesome. Again, it's a Lacerda game. If you like
the tickets, they're shaped.
If you like Lacerda games and you haven't tried Gallerist, you owe it to yourself to give it a shot. Even if the theme seems a bit weird, it's good. I like it. Anyway, as in most of our games, I'll show this off. This is funny. We always when we pack the game, we basically organize the game and set it up. We always have the bag not to be used. You see what that says? 3 and 4 players. It always gets bagged separately and put to the side.
What do we usually call it? The not mentioned in this film.
Yeah, sir, not mentioned in the film.
Sir, not.
There you go.
It was Sir not appearing in this film.
Yeah,
that was from Monty
Python.
Python. Sir not appearing in this film.
Yeah, that's it.
That was awesome.
We always have
a Sir
all
not
our games
appearing in
have
this
the 3 and 4 player
Sir not appearing in this film.
bags. I get this.
Yeah, it's also strategic. This all fits strategically.
There we go.
Look at that. You're magical, sir.
All right, there you go. That is probably more than you wanted to know about the Gallerus.
That's quite impressive.
Time for another Feld. It's Feld time. This is
with
one
Feld.
of the ones that went up because we played it again. We played it without the extra pieces because this game has a base game and an advanced game. So we played the base game the first time. Loved it. Played the advanced game. Didn't like it. That's why it dropped. Then last time we played it, we played the base game again by itself. Loved it again. Did not play the advanced game.
It had an advanced.
Merlin.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Merlin.
You'll have to refresh my memory because I don't remember what the difference was between the advanced game and the. What was different about it?
There is like a call it leadership or something. The King's Favor.
Oh, okay.
I guess they're calling it an expansion module.
And it was...
King's Favor was garbage. No offense, Feld and Queen Games and Reineck. Michael Reineck? How do you say that?
Reineck.
Yeah, that too. Merlin is a Euro-y Feld game. So basically you are a knight of the round table. And you're going around the round table, rondelle style, taking actions. So you're rolling dice. Those dice are used for movement. You got to plan what you're going to do. You're going to move this dice first and this dice second and this other die here. But there's a trick. One of those die moves Merlin. And Merlin, being the wizardo that he is.
Wizardo?
He can go clockwise and counterclockwise.
Because he's wacky.
But at its heart, it's a point salad game. You're collecting all sorts of knights and banners and things and stuff.
Fighting enemies with your banner.
Getting area control. You're doing area control, influence in different areas. I'll show you the board. It's a rondelle, and you have different areas. There are different colors cubes, different color banners, different color shields. You're doing all kinds of set collections and things like that. Again, your dice, you roll your dice, and you can choose what order you move things in. Like you might move your guy once, and then you move Merlin, and then you move your guy. And the order that you do those could have effects on each other, right? Because you might need to move this place to get this one thing you need, and then you move Merlin to do this other thing that you got to use the thing you just got, and then use that to do your third die. So there's kind of I don't know if it's AP the right thing, but you roll your dice and you kind of go, what am I going to do? If I move this guy 3, and then I move Merlin, and then maybe I'll move this guy 6 first, and then maybe I'll move Merlin first. So it's kind of puzzly in a way. But I like it because it's got a lot of different things, a lot of different paths to victory. It's got a little, like I said, it's area control over all the areas, but there's also this thing over here. This little in the field. I don't even know what this area is called. It's tile placement. You can take controls of that area. So it's area control here, area control on the board, and then your player board has all sorts of different set collections and things going on there as well. It's just a fun little game. I like dice. It's the type of puzzle game I like, where you're I always say logistics, I don't know if that's the right word, where you're trying to figure out, okay, what order do I want to do these things in, what's the most way to maximize my efficiency of what I roll. It's a great game. I like it. Comments?
I agree.
The King's Favor just convoluted everything.
Yeah,
it was almost a distraction. It didn't
from the game.
It just... There's no reason to add it in.
Yeah.
There's an expansion for Merlin. I have no interest in getting it because
we didn't like the King's Favor.
Adding stuff does not work for us apparently in this game, or at least for me. And
I agree too.
I like the original game. One of my favorite Felds. I don't know if it's obviously not my favorite Feld, but one of my favorites. But if the Feld is on my top 100, is one of my favorites. And last but not least for this time around is the wildness, the craziness the insanity, the baby screaming and crying of Pit.
The baby scream. Oh, this is the best.
Good old Pit. It dropped quite a bit.
I forgot to warn you not to do that.
Shh.
No! No, why? No. You're gonna deafen everyone. Oh,
So Pit. So Pit is a mass market game. It's been on the market for 100 years. No, not
yes.
Over 100. Holy. You know what? It was story time. When I hear 1904, I still think it's less than 100 years ago.
I know. You look at
Am
these
I
cards.
wrong? Am I wrong for that?
These cards look like they're 100 years old. We've played...
Fun since 1904.
It's true.
Anyway, Pit is a real-time, aggressive
The way we
card trading game. The reason this has dropped...
I tried.
Dropped 24 places is because it might be getting played out a little bit.
No such thing.
No, I love it. It's my friggin' 61. It's my 61, but I'm not like, hey, you want to play Pit?
Yes, you are. You are too.
Let's play Pit right now.
You really are pretty much like that. He pretty much is.
But I love Pit. It's fun. I like the real time of it. I like the screaming, the craziness. Especially, I don't know if I would enjoy this game. I guess I've been lucky. The people I've played with have been insane. But I can see where this game could fall flat, where people are like, oh, too.
Well, in that case, wouldn't you play the silent game?
Probably.
There's a silent version of this. We just don't think it's physically possible with our group.
So if you haven't played Pit, if you've been under a rock since 1904. Here's how you play.
Mad props.
You start with a hand of cards. They're all different. Well, some of them are different, some are not. You have like a certain number of different commodities based on the number of players. It'll be equal to the number of players. Imagine that. Different commodities. And what you're trying to do is, through trading, you have to get all your cards to be the same one. But there's rules. You have to follow some rules. I mean, they said there's chaos and insanity and stuff, but there's rules. So you trade all the like kind, like you can trade one of a kind, two of a kind, three of the same kind, up to four of the same kind. If you want to trade five, it's probably not playing this game wrong, because you only have 9 cards. You probably want to trade away 5 cards, unless you're crazy. You say, I have three of the same card, and you're looking for someone else around the table that's also trading 3
of the same kind of card.
Then you make eye contact and say, hey, let's do this. It's going to happen. And you go, here's your 3, I'll take my 3. And you go, oh, I got the wrong cards. 3, 3, 3, 3 again, all around the table. And then you're right here, Rebecca over here going, 2, 2, 2, 2. And you're like, she might have the cards I need. Okay, I'll trade you 2 of my 3 and take your 2. It's what I needed. And then you're like, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Everybody knows you're about to win, so they're not going to trade with you. But you just keep going, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And some fool on the end of the table trades 1, and that's the last one you need, and you ring the bell!
You better edit the sound out of this.
And you win the round.
You better edit the sound out of it.
And each one of the commodities is worth different values. You're trying to get to a certain number of points, or you just play until you're tired. And that's my number 61. It went down. I said it went down. It went down. Yeah, a little bit.
I think everyone's waiting for you to get this off your list.
Went down 24 places. Eventually, it may drop off my list, and you won't have to hear that bell anymore. But until then...
Too late. They've all unsubscribed.
Yeah. Until then, you get to hear the bell.
I'm so sorry. I tried.
That's it for this time around. That is my number 61 Pit. All right, folks. As always, we preview the next 10. It's my number 60 to 51. I'm calling this the new game section.
Ooh.
The new game section, although it has the same new games as further down the list, but it has 4 new games. 4 new games, 5 that went down, 1 that went up. It's very interesting. Kind of a spoiler. My list goes, at one point, new game, old game, new game, old game, new game, old game, new game. Interesting.
Thank you, random stats, man.
It alternates.
That is interesting.
What are the odds?
Don't calculate.
Well, there you go. Tune in next time and see why that happened. we may never know. Bye.